Hello everyone, welcome back again. And in our last episode, we were able to create a card service. However, if we take a look at our compass, we will find out that we don't have value for the card startup as well as the IIN. Albeit, those are the most important parts of our card service. Because without those, we can't really generate a card. So those are the things that the financial institutions will need to be able to generate their card. And a typical card, let's go to Postman and use here as our bot. And a typical card is made up of 16 digits. We can try to type that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 16 digits. How big that? I'm not sure how they came about this. I didn't bother to research. I want to use my own idea. And based on that, I'm going to divide this into two sections. I'm going to give the first part to the card networks, and I'm going to give the rest to the financial institutions. Okay? And on that note, the card network is left with just 8 digits to work with. And from that 8 digits, the first value has already been taken based on the identification by the global registry. So if you recall, when we're setting up the global registry, we kind of assigned FINSA as 4. So FINSA is 4. And based on that, the first value would be uniquely 4 every time. Okay? So now I'm left with the last 7 digits. So the question will be, how many combinations of number can we make for 7 entries? So the possibilities in terms of number is 10. So we have from 1 to 0. And if we put this into perspective, we are going to have 10 raised to power 7. Yeah, that's my mathematics here. And based on that, we have possible combination of 10 million. So that means we can generate 10 million unique issuers. That works. But in some situation, maybe you became so big and you want to generate even more. I'm pretty sure you can think of a better way. Yeah, that would be up to you. Well, yeah, 10 million seems to be okay, and that's what we're going to go with. However, how do we generate this in the first place? Because one thing about generating random number is you don't just generate random numbers. You consider an algorithm, you consider a flow to use. So in this case, one of the flow that came to my mind, and I feel we enforce uniqueness, is using the Unix timestamp. An example of Unix timestamp is 17. I think we are 17 at something now. So 172, So Unix timestamp is a total of 10 digits. Let's see if we have that. Yeah, so this is randomly typed, but for some reason it amounts to 10 digits, which is what we want. So 172 seems to be persistent lengthy due to the fact that this is the amount of cycles we've been able to count since 1970. Okay? So while 172 would be kind of persistent for a long while, the last 7 digits would be kind of random, which is what we want to go with. Okay? So enough of all this talk. Let's put all this thing into consideration. Let's put it in a quote. So I can clear this out to make sure that our Postman payload is still valid. Then I can come back to my code. So we are going to define the function to generate the IIN here. And in the process of doing that, while we generate the unique ID, we are going to compare it with our database entry to see if we have a record. So if we have a record, that means we can use the ID and we try to generate another one. And one of the questions we might ask is, are we doing this because we are using MongoDB? And the answer to that is mainly yes and no to some extent. And the reason for that is, even though we are using an SQL DB, the only advantage that will pose is that we won't be able to duplicate or insert a duplicate. So if we generated an IIN that already exists, an SQL database will not allow that to enter, whereas that won't be the case for the MongoDB. But nonetheless, we just don't want to complete the process in one try. We want to perform at least 10 tries. So after 10 tries, we can now revert back to the user that, okay, we've tried 10 times to generate a unique IIN for you, and we were unable to. So we recommend to try it later. But for the case of Mongo, because we can insert duplicates, this particular step is mostly very important. So that's something to note. So we're going to start our step from the utils where we generate the unique value from the timestamp. So we can come down to the helper. And in here, we want to have a func to generate IIN. So it's not going to take anything. It's going to return the last 7 digits of our timestamp. So this is just assuming that's not what we want. So here we can have current Unix, which is equals to time.now and this. So we need to import time. And we can convert all this to a string like that. Now we can remove the last part of the stuff. So we can have return current Unix. So we want to return the last 7 digits of the current timestamp. And we can achieve that using len into the current Unix. So instead of -10, we're going to use -7. All right, so that's what we have. And with that, we are able to generate the Unix. All right, so based on this information, this generates a row instead of string. So it's recommended we use the fmt sprintf. So yeah, let's go with that. So here I can have fmt.printf, then %d, and yeah, we have that. We are not using the nano, we are using the Unix. All right, so that was the first part, and we are good with our helper part. So the next part is to create a function that actually generates the IIN and compare with what we have on our database. So here we can have func cs star card service. Then here we want to have generate IIN in small letter, and that's because this is going to be private to this particular package. So that's something to note. So again, this is not taking any value. However, we can either return a string or an error in case we are unable to generate a unique IIN. So that's that. And based on that, this is also going to give us the avenue to explore some of the core concepts of Golang. So we're going to be making use of Go routine, which is called Go routine. Then we're also going to be exploring some of the attributes that comes along with using Go routine. And we are talking about mutex and wait group. So yeah, I'm going to define my wait group here. And that's going to be sync.wait group. Then I'm going to be defining a new text here. And that's going to be sync into mutex. Then finally, I'm going to create an array of entry for my IIN, because I'm going to be creating 10 loops, 10 coroutine to try to generate and check if the IIN exists. So whichever check feels that the IIN does not exist, will store its value in this array. And at the end of the day, we can just pick one of the content in the array if it exists anyways. So yeah, that's the plan. So here we're going to have 4. I am so we're not going to 100, we're using 10. So here we can have wait group dot add 1. So if you don't know how to use wait group, this is a basic use case. And for every loop we perform, we are adding 1 instance. You're not adding I, you're adding 1. So I made this mistake the first time I used wait group. So also before we move further, let me quickly explain what mutex is. So mutex is just simply a program coordinator. It coordinates your threads and ensure that they don't perform any race condition. For example, now our checks are going to be happening within GoRoutine, and they would want to access the value within our IIN array. And since it's a GoRoutine, they don't really care about each other, they try to access it. But with mutex, we can decide who gets to use it and who stays on the queue. So that's what mutex is doing to achieve for us here. Then next we can have Go func. Like that, we don't have any stuff here. And we're going to call the function immediately, like this. So inside the function, we are going to have differ waitGroup.done, waitGroup.done, like this. So differ means at the end of the function, we want to call the waitGroup.done, and that way it's going to remove the wait group that has been added to the stack. It's going to remove it away and state that it's done. That's the whole idea. So now we can generate IIN here. So then just call it underscore IIN, which is equals to utils.generate IIN. So this is going to generate the unique value we want. Then also we want to get information from our card service DB. So we can have a variable result equals to card service param. And now we can communicate with our DB by having error. Then we have this. So CSDB collection, we have this, find one, where IIN is this. So if error is not new, that means we didn't get the record. That means the IIN we just generated is unique. Then we want to perform this operation. So we want to lock this particular variable so that other Go routines will not access it while this one is trying to access, and of course a race condition, which can make the data invaluable. So we will lock it, then we'll append the new value we generated into it, then we'll unlock it for other Go routines, and that's all we want to do here. Okay, this has to be defined. Then once we are done with this, we can have wait group dot wait. So we have to wait for all this process to complete. So it may look like it's a multiple process, but since it's happening within a group routine, most likely they are going to execute once. So now I want to check if I have data within here. So if length of IIN is 0, then we can return back and state that we could not generate IIN. Albeit, if we have value, we can just return the first one. We don't need whichever ones are available again. And this is us utilizing the power of GoRoutine to achieve this. So if this were to be Python, I bet we might not be able to do this unless maybe we are using Postgres. So Postgres would most likely allow us generate multiple of this, then have an array of content. I think we can do that here as well. But yeah, that would not allow us to use this row, which I think we want to use anyways. So yeah, we are good on that part. So now we can come back to our CAD service creation and utilize this flow. So here we can have payload.iin then error. So here, if error is not new, then we can have, yeah, we have an internal server error. Yeah, this is not really an internal server error. It's more like a forbidden error. Yeah, let's use forbidden. And we are unable to generate a unique ID for you. So let's actually tell you to come back later. So try again later. Yeah, that's better. So now that we are able to generate the IIN, we can also update our CAD starter. So payload.CAD equals to fmt.printf into 4. So we're going to have this as the second value. So the first one is going to be 4. Or better still, let's just have 1. Like that. Okay. So technically we should be getting this 4 from our global registry, but I don't think that's necessary. The flow to get this will just be to connect to the Redis server and check for filter, and you get your value, which is very straightforward, but we know it's 4. In the future we can implement that. But now we are able to set this before creating our CAD service. So let's test this out again. First thing first, let's check if our server is running. Okay, if not, let's start the server. All right, so the server is running. If we try to create this service again, it exists, so it won't work. So we have to go to the MongoDB, delete this record. Yeah, now we've done that, then we can create again. So service created. And you can see how fast that executed. Even though we had to look 10 times to communicate to the database, it all executes so fast. And that's the power of GoRoutine. So if we refresh this, now we have an IIN and we have the CAD starter, which is what we want. So in the first video, in the intro video, I'm pretty sure we all saw this. So yeah, that's our CAD service creation workflow there. And this is where we're going to stop in this episode. In the next episode, we're going to explore listing out our service. And that also is going to require us to explore the use of our GoRoutine and wait group and others as well. So stay tuned for that, and bye for now.